Gotta ask a good question. Whose career benefited the most if they had won a ring out of Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, and Karl Malone? And what the ring would have meant if they had won? What the real question is what would have meant? Um, for Charles Barkley, it probably puts him in the top 10 ever because when you think about his dominance, his points, his rebounding, he's a league MVP, his popularity. He was one of the most popular cats, and he was considered a special talent, the round mound. So it would have probably been pretty high for him. Probably would have carried a lot of weight because just in terms of popularity, he'd have been borderline top 10. And I think there's still some people still think he's the greatest power forward ever because if you debate him against, and all due respect to him, saying Alexa Kevin McHale, who doesn't get that top consideration, but if you put Barkley up against um, Karl Malone and Tim Duncan and Garnett or somebody like that, Barkley still got a strong base of fans who still think he is. So it makes for interesting debate with that, what a ring would have done for his legacy. And I think because the fact that he lost a couple of series that they blew leads and didn't finish, how great a talent he was, because he was something else. So it'd have been interesting. As for Patrick Ewing, it would have been huge. Think about Joe Namath and then think about Eli Manning. And then you could make the case Ewing was bigger than both. Even though they were quarterbacks and they won in New York State, Patrick Ewing wins a ring for the Knicks, being the number one draft pick, because you still remember that coin flip legally alleged. Imagine what that would have done for his legacy. And then he won in college with Georgetown. So imagine if he wins a ring with the Knicks, wins an NBA levels, finals MVP. He is hailed. Some think he's the greatest Knick ever. Some think he's one of the most overrated Knicks ever. It depends on which side of the fence you're on. But a winning ring, the cat is huge. So it makes for an interesting situation where you debate him. Where does he fall in the line? So that's a very strong. He's one of those. It could mean. Does it make him better? Does he move up the chain though? No, one ring doesn't put him with Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, and Bill Russell. And does it make him better than Olajuwon, or he's still over David Robinson, or where is he at? Or Moses Malone? See, and then of course you got Jokic. So he needed a ring before he could surpass those guys, and that's what's the knock. Or was he even as great as Bill Walton or Wes Unseld? That's a very, depend upon who you ask. That's a very, 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 and I can mention Nate Thurman, and you go George Mike, and you can go some other centers if you will, but that's a slippery slope with the Patrick Ewing argument, the pros and cons with that. Walt Bellamy, mention some people. Where does he rank at exactly? But if he wins a ring, they will definitely put him top 10. But I still think on the bottom of the top 10, he'd have to have won two to get more love. So a ring would have definitely done wonders for him. And that's one of those ones that you kind of debate. And last but not least, Karl Malone, the mailman. A ring with all those points he scores, I believe if he win a ring, I think he sticks around at least passes Kareem. I think he definitely makes a strong run at the going for it because he was in physical shape. I think he had at least a couple more years in him. But I think losing the way it happened in LA and not finishing and all the controversies with him and Kobe, I think, that would have been big. As a power forward, his stats speak for themselves. He got better. Put it to you like this. It's one of those things that if you do syncopation, if you synced up Charles Barkley's personality and charisma with Karl Malone's work ethic, you got a guy that's arguably top 5 or 6 ever. That's how big that would be. If he could do a hook, line, and sink. So I think that's what a ring would have done for each one of them. The one that I think that moves up the most is Charles Barkley. The one that I think it kind of stays neutral is Karl Malone. And then I say Patrick Ewing, it depends on who you ask. It depends on and depends as a center how dominant he was and what he did. So that one is probably the trickiest one of them all. But that's a good question about those three. What a ring would have done for for if they had won. Anyway, tell me what you think. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shitter if you like. Hit that membership because when you do request videos, you ask, I bring them back to you. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay true, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.